Hey guys, Plasmatism here. So I hear a lot of you guys have been having troubles with warriors in these last few beta weekend events, so basically I've decided to make a video to try and give some insight on their most seemingly strong combos at the moment, mainly being Eviscerate and 100 Blades. Keep in mind this was recorded during the second beta event, so things might have changed since then. First of all, being good at PvP is basically all about paying attention to what's going on, having a fast reaction speed, and probably, most of all, having knowledge of the game itself. Paying attention to which skills your opponent is using and which buffs he has on him at a given time can be crucial to winning a skirmish, which can be crucial to winning a match. For example, you really don't want to be hitting a warrior with Endure Pain on. A fast reaction speed will help immensely. Evading important skills can be the difference between life and death. Knowing which skills your opponent potentially has and what they look like when they're executed will help a lot when trying to counter them. Something very important you should keep in mind is you should have at least one utility skill that has the ability to break stun and one that can remove immobilize, and you'll see why in a second. Just remember, be prepared. I'm going to be showing most of these skills executed in slow motion so you can get an idea of which animations to look out for. The most popular warrior build right now is most likely the axe main hand and shield offhand coupled with the greatsword. The most important and damaging skills of this build are Eviscerate and 100 Blades. Eviscerate is the high burst damage adrenaline skill when using axe as your main hand weapon. Despite its relatively small range, it's a very important skill to look out for. The more adrenaline the warrior has, the harder it will hit. Pay close attention to the first few moments of the animation because you're going to be dodging this skill a lot. Even when dodged though, the warrior's adrenaline bar stays full, so basically you can expect another one coming your way in approximately 10 seconds. 100 Blades, arguably the most damaging skill of the greatsword, is actually a channeling skill. This means that if the warrior tries to move, the skill will be cancelled. In other words, don't stand still while it's being executed. However, better players will try to either stun or immobilize you before using it, thus hitting the whole combo. So, the important part here is basically to either dodge the incoming stun or the immobilize skill. If you fail to do that, you will be forced to use your corresponding break stun or remove immobilize utility skill. The dangerous crowd control skills consist of Bull's Charge. The skill has a 600 range and knocks down for 2 seconds. It's a pretty good setup for a Frenzy and 100 Blades combo, which I'll talk about in a bit. Keep in mind that if you daze someone while they're using the skill, the cooldown will be much shorter than if you dodge it. Pay special attention to the character doing a quick 360-degree spin before actually charging your way. Stomp. Personally, I haven't seen this skill used much in PvP, probably because it gives a pretty big indication of when it's going to hit, thus it's easier to dodge. When it does hit though, it launches you pretty far away, making it hard to follow up with anything, since most of these skills have a pretty short range. Throw Bolus. With its short cooldown and relatively long duration, this is definitely one of the most effective warrior crowd control skills. The best or worst part, however, is that the animation is very fast and can be hard to spot. If the warrior is using a shield in his offhand though, it becomes a bit easier, since the offhand shield disappears right before the actual skill is executed, which is a great visual cue for dodging it. Also keep in mind, skills that can break stun will not remove immobilize. Other important utility in weapon skills. Frenzy. This is basically double the attack speed if you're familiar with other MMOs. The skill will usually be used before a Bull's Charge, so that almost the whole 100 Blades combo will be executed while you're still stunned. It's quite easy to spot because of the bright yellow lines spinning around the warrior for half a second, and the blur-like effect. Pay close attention to the buff icon to see when it stops, since the blur effect will disappear much sooner. The full combo with Bull's Charge and 100 Blades can be devastating. Endure Pain. Even though it has a short duration, this skill can be a huge difference between winning or losing a fight. It's not that hard to spot though, since there's a bluish fire coming out of the warrior's torso and head. Be careful not to use big cooldown or initiative skills on this, because it will not do any damage whatsoever. The skill has a big cooldown, so you probably don't have to worry about it being used more than once in a fight. Balanced stance. This is a tricky one. There is absolutely no animation related to this skill. You have to pay attention to the buff icon itself. Shield Bash, a small version of Bull's Charge. The animation indicator is basically the same, though the duration and range are both shorter. Shield Stance. This is basically Endure Pain and Balance Stance in one, and on a much shorter cooldown. It's easy to spot though, so again, just try not to waste any important skills on it. That's it for today. I'll be making more Guild Wars 2 videos in the near future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.